Have you ever faced a decision that just felt impossible? You know, a moment where every single choice seems wrong? Well, thousands of years ago, a warrior faced the ultimate dilemma, and the advice he got became one of the world's most incredible guides to navigating life itself. Yeah, we're talking about the Bhagavad Gita. And believe it or not, it all starts with one gut-wrenching question. Now, this isn't just some abstract philosophical question. This is the very heart of the Bhagavad Gita, a real conversation that happens on a battlefield, literally moments before a massive war is about to kick off. And it's this one question that launches an incredible guide to living a life filled with purpose, action, and somehow inner peace. So let's set the scene. It all kicks off with this intense moral crisis on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. You've got two huge armies lined up, ready for a war that's going to be absolutely catastrophic. And on one side, we have our hero, the greatest archer of his time, a warrior named Arjuna. But as Arjuna looks out across that battlefield, he doesn't just see an opposing army. He sees his cousins, his teachers, his granduncles. I mean, these are the very people he grew up with, the people he loved and respected. And in that moment, his famous bow just slips from his hand. He completely collapses in his chariot, totally paralyzed by the thought of having to fight his own family for a kingdom. Now, you might expect a little sympathy from his charioteer, who also happens to be his divine guide, Krishna, right? Maybe hey, it's gonna be okay. Nope. Instead, he gets this, a super sharp, almost harsh command to snap out of it. This isn't just tough love. It's the shock that kicks off Arjuna's real education. So, Krishna's first lesson is a total game changer. He completely reframes the entire problem. He's basically saying, Arjuna, this isn't about winning or losing a battle. It's about understanding the true nature of life and death itself. Wow, I mean, what a statement, right? Krishna immediately tells Arjuna that his whole perspective is just wrong. He's grieving for something that's temporary, mistaking the container for what's truly inside. So, what is inside? And this is the crucial part. Krishna introduces this idea of the Atman, the real self. He explains that this self, your soul, can never be created or destroyed. It's like a person changing their clothes. The soul just moves from one body to the next. This distinction is everything. Krishna is making it crystal clear. The body is temporary, it comes and goes, but the self, the Atman, is eternal. So in the truest sense, Arjuna can't actually kill anyone because the Atman is indestructible. The fight might be in the physical world, but the ultimate reality is spiritual. And building on that, Krishna reminds Arjuna about his dharma. As a warrior, his sacred duty, his whole purpose, is to fight against injustice and to uphold what's right. To back down now because of personal feelings, well, that would be a far greater failure than losing any battle. Okay, so Arjuna's starting to get what he has to do, but how? How can he possibly do it without being completely crushed by the emotional weight of it all? Well, Krishna lays out 3 connected paths or disciplines for achieving yoga, which, by the way, just means union with the divine. So first, he offers Karma Yoga, the path of action, which is all about doing your duties selflessly. Then you've got Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, for the more intellectual types who use wisdom to find the truth. And finally, there's Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, which is all about love and connecting with the divine through the heart. The real genius here is that there's no single right way. They're just different roads to the same destination. And that's what's so brilliant. These paths aren't designed for monks meditating in a cave somewhere. They're designed to be woven right into the fabric of your everyday life. They transform your work, your thoughts, and your feelings into a kind of spiritual practice. All right, so at this point, Arjuna's mind is probably pretty blown. He's starting to grasp these really deep ideas. But he needs to know, for sure, that the person giving him this life-altering advice is more than just his friend and charioteer. So he asks Krishna to reveal his true divine form. And what happens next? Well, it's one of the most magnificent and frankly terrifying moments in all of Scripture. Krishna gives Arjuna divine sight and then unveils his Vishwarup, a vision of the entire universe, all of reality, contained right there within his own being. In this incredible cosmic form, Arjuna sees everything. All the gods, all living beings, the past, the present, the future, all happening at once.
He sees the warriors from both armies just rushing into Krishna's fiery mouths, which shows him that their fates are already sealed. It's all part of a divine. Arjuna's reaction, it's just pure, unfiltered awe and terror. He's completely overwhelmed. This vision proves Krishna's divinity beyond a shadow of a doubt, and it makes Arjuna realize he's just an instrument in a cosmic drama that is so much bigger than himself.
So, after all of that, the deep philosophy, the mind-bending cosmic vision, what's the final practical advice? What's the big takeaway for Arjuna and for us? It all boils down to this single, powerful idea: action without attachment.
This is the core message of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Don't run away from your responsibilities. Don't stop working or creating or trying to do things. Instead, what you have to do is motivation. Act for the sake of the action itself, as your duty, not for what you think you're going to get out of it.
This practice is called Karma Yoga. It's the path of consecrated action. Krishna basically tells him, you have a right to your work, but you have no right to the fruits of your work. You have to let go of that obsession with whether you'll succeed or fail.
So if we break it down, it's really a 4-step process. Step 1, figure out what your duty is, your unique purpose. Step 2, do it to the absolute best of your ability. Give it your all. Step 3, offer up the results, the outcome, to something bigger than yourself. And finally, step 4, accept both victory and defeat with a calm, balanced mind.
So why does this ancient wisdom still matter so much today in our super competitive world? Well, because it's an antidote to the anxiety of hustle culture, right? It frees us from that constant pressure to measure our self-worth by our results. It can transform any task, whether it's a spreadsheet or a piece of art, into a chance for spiritual growth. And that leads to this profound sense of peace and purpose no matter what happens. And that kind of brings us full circle. This whole amazing conversation started with a warrior who didn't want to fight. And the answer wasn't to run away, it was to completely reframe his understanding of action, of himself, and of duty. So the question for us is, far away from any battlefield, how could that exact same shift in our thinking change our own battles in our own lives?